After a month on the ticket, Mike Pence is a believer. And when he dropped by our studios to tape a segment of Close Up, he said Donald Trump is exactly the candidate America's forefathers had in mind.
People that have accomplished great things in their own lives and in their own right, who would be willing to, in a season of service, to be willing to answer the call of this country. And so I believe he's the right man at the right time, and I couldn't be more honored or more humbled to be standing with him.
Are you also translating for him a lot? I mean, you know how Donald Trump is, whether it's says the president's the co-founder of ISIS or that he knows more about ISIS than the generals do. Do you feel like you have to explain what that meant to a lot of voters?
I think the American people hear Donald Trump loud and clear. The American people are going to know exactly what their new president thinks about everything, because he's right out there, he's totally honest, he's totally upfront. Now, we've got different styles, Josh, and I acknowledge that, but we have exactly the same conviction.
I mean, the media is so busy parsing every word that Donald Trump said in the last 30 minutes, they don't have time to cover what the Clintons have been up to for the last 30 years.
Where is, by your estimation, the media getting it wrong when it comes to Donald Trump?
Well, I just think it's remarkable. I mean, you saw just in the last week alone, the media, many in the national media, not all, Josh, but sure, many in the national media focusing on semantics and on word choices by Donald Trump when they were ignoring extraordinary revelations that go to the very heart of the integrity of the candidacy of Hillary Clinton.
Even so, Pence acknowledges the current overhaul taking place within the Trump campaign. But rather than chaos, Pence characterizes it as growing pains.
But I just think what you're seeing is just the natural progress of a campaign that is building more momentum every day.
Now, despite that optimism, polls indicate that Trump has a lot of work to do to win over his skeptics here in New Hampshire. He did win the primary, but he remains deeply underwater in terms of favorability. But as we head into the home stretch of the race, Pence is clearly optimistic that the Trump campaign, now version 3.0, will put it all together. Reporting live, Josh McKelvin, WMUR News 9.